There was one point in my life where it had taken such a strong hold over my life that I didn't feel that I was worthy to live anymore. Hello and welcome to my little corner of the world. I'm so glad that you're back. We're here for another week and we're doing something a little different today. I don't know, I feel like the vlog style kind of videos are a little bit more intimate or more personal. And so today I thought we'd try that today. How are you doing? How are you feeling? How's your day been? My day has been pretty good. Weirdly enough, I feel like this past couple weeks, I feel like God has called me to be transparent. Not that I forget the disclaimers. One of the things that God has called me to is transparency. I feel like God is talking to me about sharing my journey with my mental health. And my journey in my mental health has definitely been a journey, to say the least. I grew up in an African household. If you're African, then you know mental health is something that hasn't always been socially acceptable. Maybe is that the word? Or hasn't really been something that people talk about, especially growing up when we were younger. I think maybe people are more open to that now than they were in the past. I always remember that, that was something that wasn't really talked about. And yeah, that was a thing. So for me to be on here talking about my mental health journey, we're gonna be destigmatizing that. And so here I am sharing my journey, and I'm just hopeful that if you are struggling with any mental health issues, or if you've been struggling with something, you know that you're not alone and that there is hope for you on the other side of that depression, of that anxiety, of those negative thoughts that have been feeding into your mind, that there is hope for you. I started at a very young age just having a lot of anxiety. I think a lot of that stemmed from learning to bottle things up and not talk about them, not knowing how to express myself in a healthy manner. So yeah, that was something that I struggled with at a young age. In result, I did a lot of people pleasing and to make everyone happy, always smiling. If you knew me when I was a kid, I generally tried to smile a lot and just tried to make people feel comfortable, and that was a coping mechanism, I guess, that I developed at a young age. I struggled a lot with anxiety and wanting to make everyone happy, bottling things up that would happen or people would say, or anything that happened, I would just bottle it up. I didn't really know how to express myself in a healthy manner. I used to say this all the time, but it was like I would have my garbage can I would start putting stuff in it, like all this motion. Oh, I'm not gonna deal with it. I'm just gonna put it in this garbage can. Oh, I didn't like an encounter I had with somebody, but I'm uncomfortable to say anything. Literally would just fill up my garbage can, and it would just get so heavy that it would literally explode. And that was me. Like, I would bottle things up and explode. And it'd be like the littlest thing that would happen. And it's like, it's not even about that thing. It's about all the other things that has happened in your life or that has happened in that month or that week. So definitely learned a lot of unhealthy coping mechanisms when I was young that carried into my 20s. A lot of these emotions just really had me to a place where I felt like I didn't even belong here anymore. I had been struggling with things that I would tell myself because I was unable to learn how to properly express how it is that I was feeling. I would internalize it. I would just sit with all these negative emotions about myself. At some point, it just really felt like I had a huge dark cloud sitting over my head, and I literally could almost not even see joy in things because it had taken over my mind. It had taken over everything that I did. And that's when I started to experience depression. I started to experience depression in probably like my late teens, so like 18, 19, 20, around that age. And I like to say that it was high functioning depression because life was still lifing. But whenever I wasn't doing school or work, or I would literally be in my room, in my bed, with the weight of the world sitting on my chest and my mind. My relationship with God has always been like I knew He existed, right? Like I knew God existed, but He didn't live inside of my heart. I was very much in the church and I believed God and I believed that He existed, but I didn't have that relationship with Him. So, during those times in my 20s when I was in my darkest time, I found ways to distract myself, to make myself feel better. I resulted in people pleasing. I resulted in being the furthest away from my parents and family as much as possible because I'm like, I just can't deal with it. Like, I just wanted to separate myself. I wanted to separate myself from God because I have already made so many mistakes in between this time that was my darkest that God's not going to want to have anything to do with me. Like, I've done this and I've done that and I've tried to find love in the wrong places and I've tried to distract myself in groups and doing this and being busy, just like trying to fill myself with things because I was so empty. It just got to a point where I didn't even want to be here anymore. That I wanted to take my life, like to the point where I wanted to take my life. To the point where the devil had literally been telling me lies. I've been telling myself lies for so, so long that it got to a point where I said, I do not think that I belong here anymore. There's no space for me. There's no space for me to occupy. And that was a lie. That was a lie. I just thank God that I am still here. I'm thankful that God gave me another chance of life, another outlook of life, and that He helped me rewrite my story. All the negative things I have told myself about, whether that's not good enough, I'm not getting the validation from other people, and I'm not wrapping my self-worth in what others are saying, but what God has to say about me. Well, God has helped me learn that I am worthy. I am His daughter. He loves me and He wants good things for me. Looking back at my journey through my mental health, as I said, God has really helped me relearn who I am, which has changed my whole mind and how I address myself and who I am. If you are somebody that haven't really been talking to God lately, but you feel like you're not worthy enough to talk to God, this is your sign that he is always open and he's always ready to talk to you, to ready for you to come to him. Perfect, unperfect, anxiety, no anxiety, depression, no depression. He's always ready to take you and to take on those things that might be heavy on your heart, you know? I feel like we sometimes go through life and we carry the weight of the world on us. We have bills and we have responsibilities and we have kids and we have husbands and we have families and we have deadlines that we've put on ourselves. We have a house that we want to get. We have a marriage that we want to have one day, but we don't have it right now. It's like we're carrying all these things on us, all the things that we want, all the things that we wish we had, the things we don't have, the things that we're praying for, the thing that we're desiring. If we give that to God and help alleviate some of the burdens and the stresses that we put on ourselves on a day-to-day basis, I think that it can help so much, like it has for me. And this is something that I am practicing every day. I refuse to be defined that I have these things right now, that I have depression, that I have anxiety, but that I'm overcoming it every day with the help of God and that He helps me. I'm not depressed like I used to be. I don't have anxiety like I used to have. And God has helped me on that journey a little bit every day, learning to give it to Him, learning to trust Him with all of my worries and all the things that I have on my list, all the things that I wish I did, and the things that I've told myself, the negative things that I tell myself, but telling myself the things that God has told me about me, you know, that I am fearfully and wonderfully made, that I am made perfect in His image, and that I am a daughter of Him. Like I said, my relationship with God is growing more and more every day, the more that I learn about Him. I am definitely not perfect. I definitely don't have all the answers. But what I do know is that God is good. And what I do know is that if you are going through a dark season, or if you know someone that's going through a dark season, that you can pray for them, encourage them, send them this video, let them know that they're not alone. It might be dark and it might be hard right now, but it's not going to be like that forever. And if you are going through a really dark time right now, I encourage you to go out and seek help, because you are not alone and there is help for you out there. I will put some resources down in my description of different places you can reach out to, and also I will put in a sermon that really helped me and was like very pivotal for me in my mindset, if you are looking for a sermon to encourage you. Yeah, mental health is hard and it's a journey, and every day is not easy, but God can give hope and He can give strength in wherever you are. And I hope that you know that you are not alone, and to just be patient with yourself as well. Be patient with yourself, be kind to yourself, and let's work on telling ourselves what God has to say about us. I will be praying for you, and I'm so glad that you joined me today. I know, like I said, today was a little bit more heavier topic than I probably will be doing on this channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for sticking with me. And I'm hoping and I'm praying that you are encouraged. Thank you so much for joining me. And I can't wait to see you again in my next video. I love you so much, and stay encouraged. Bye.